You know how, I mean, you've been in this machine learning industry for way longer. So you know how you could perform a machine learning task. For example, you take an algorithm like regression, and you could use regression for like a different number of tasks, like a variety of tasks. There is just this one task that sometimes you would use regression for, and even after you've done all of the evaluations, you find that your regression model was sort of like really didn't give you the right inference. So let's take, for instance, I use regression model for maybe water potability, to kind of like know, to find out which of the factors is affecting the cleanness of the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Water that is safe to drink, for example. And I might then want to use the same regression model, because obviously we know what regression model does, and we want to use it to predict maybe the car prices again. I don't know why I'm always picking cars.
It's okay.
But yeah, so we wanted to predict car prices, for example. But you find out that you got way more inference, accurate inference, when the regression model was applied to the water potability projects compared to the car prices predictions.
Mhm.
What do you think might have been the reason for that? Knowing fully well that this algorithm, could do both tasks. And of course, you might have used the regression for a number of tasks in the past. So what do you think might have just been the reason for this?
It's a great question. I don't know the data set, so maybe we are going to guess what could
Okay.
happen.
Yeah, yeah, just hypothetical.
Just hypothetical. Well, there is one thing that is called linearity, and the relation between features, between
Mhm,
the input that we are giving to the model compared to
mhm,
the target. So if these features are really dependent with the target, so
mhm,
as you say, the purity of the water or the car, the price of the cars,
mhm.
uh, this could be easily problem resolved with, for example, linear regression or
Okay.
other simple model, classical model,
Okay.
just
Mhm,
because there are some clear pattern of, I don't know, I'm not an expert in in purity of the water, but maybe there are
okay.
some
Yeah.
really clear indicators that
Mhm,
tell you, for example, the colors. If the color,
mhm.
it's not crystalline, maybe you can say, okay, maybe I don't want to drink this water, and
Yeah.
maybe it's easier to spot this pattern. And even a model that is really simple, like linear regression, as you said,
Okay.
can do the job and can do it great job. But
Yeah.
there are some other domains, some other problems in which you don't have this real clear pattern.
Yeah.
So you can say that the relation between the input features and your target is not linear. So
Okay.
you need something more powerful than just a line, and you need models that are more complex to get the job, that can really try to deepen inside the data and find the, the good function that can give you the price of the car. But I'm
Absolutely.
just to say, I'm really a totally fan of a simple model when they can work. So so
Yeah.
for sure, uh, guys, don't just use LLM to do everything, just start.
So recently we had GTC, NVIDIA's GTC conference, and during Jason's conference, he had a really nice display of robotics, which I thought was really cute.
I saw it, and I totally
Well,
agree with you.
I thought that was really, really cute. I mean, and the really cool conversation he had with Blue. It was almost like, is he actually having that conversation with the robots? I mean, that as you know, imagine everyone getting a blue in their houses. They probably won't be bored anymore.
I would love, honestly, to have one of it in my house for sure.
Honestly. Um, but again, with watching that, obviously, we know that robotics are being trained on reinforcement learning, and of course, it's always the trial and error attempt to get it to do the things that has been assigned for it to do. So, I mean, after seeing what Nvidia, Disney, and the other company put together, you know, what do you think that in the future, how do you think reinforcement learning will evolve? We evolve to handle something as serious as a medical surgery. So when I mean a medical surgery, I mean like a heart transplant. Like, do you
Mhm.
think people are going to trust it? For example, you are, in a situation whereby you've got maybe a friend, someone and of course, as a technology advocate, and they come to you and they say to you that, well, we think we are going to be using a robot on someone that what will be your
Mhm.
first response to that?
Your question are becoming more harder, harder than we go. We discussed that. Just joking, just joking. Yeah, yeah. Of course, it's. I thought about it. Of course, that was I think one of the first thing that I started thinking when I started this path, and
Okay.
I think things are changing because it's really like a perception. I remember that I had something this discussion some years ago, and I remember
Okay.
that people are not so prone, to get to use AI, artificial intelligence, robot in their life. It
Hmm.
was like a sci-fi, comedy. They would like to, they would love to have it, but they were not so used,
Hmm.
to have AI in their life. But today, I think that people are changing because now almost everybody use AI, and I think that people are getting more used to have AI in their life. So I think it's
Okay.
just you know uh, the habit to have this kind of new technologies, these beings, AI beings
Yeah.
in our today life. And yeah, if you ask to me, I just we look at the probabilities, but just because I'm a data scientist, so yeah, if the human error is 1% and the robot's error is 100 times less, I'm
Mhm.
gonna choose the robot for sure.
So basically, you're saying that before you can approve a robot to perform a medical surgery, it would have gone through a rigorous trial and error period. Like you would have seen it do the whole, like from the whole simulation, and you would have seen it pass the different probably like tests that it needs to pass, and this, before you can trust it to say, okay, yes, do a go ahead to actually perform a surgery on someone.
Yeah, this is, I think, for sure. For sure, it would be a wide range of experimentation.
Yeah.
Very, very rigorous A/B testing, probabilities, and once we have that, yeah, for sure, why not? I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm not in the sector, I'm not in the domain, but I think that advancement in health
Hmm.
with AI is one of the most impactful things that AI can do.
Yeah.
And for sure, I would like to see more research on that, more investment on that, because it's really something that can impact human life, and you can see
Yeah.
it. So if you can save life, you can improve the quality of life. But just give all robotic doctor, and I'm fine. I'm fine with it for sure.
I mean, obviously, though, we're not trying to say that it's going to replace doctors, because I don't believe that robotics can actually replace doctors, because doctors are always going to
Sure.
be needed. But of course, with things like aiding, enhancing, and of course, trying to be like an assistance to serve more people, I think that's what the real value is. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But I think that medics are never enough, is for the population. So yeah, we won't replace human medics, but if we can have robotic colleagues, it would be great for me.
I know. Oh, I actually didn't think about that. Robotic colleagues. So when you come into the office in the morning, you would have programmed in what to say to you, would you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's really, really great, though. But yeah. So now we're talking about robotics, and of course, with all of this technology, we know that we utilize things like CPUs, GPUs, and TPUs.
Mhm.
So if CPUs are the dependable workhorses, GPUs are the gym guys for lifting heavy graphics, and TPUs are the AI nerds for solving equations at light speed. Could you give me an example of where you would use each of those processing units and what tasks you would do with them?
Well, because for me, I would always use a GPU to do everything, but
I
I'm
know,
joking.
I know, totally agree.
I'm joking. I'm joking. No, CPU. I think they are indispensable because they have a low cost, so you can really do amazing stuff. You don't need having a GPU or TPU to do normal stuff, I will say.
Do you use TPU to create, train more data on, maybe if you wanted to create an LLM, or you use a GPU?
I use a GPU, so
Use a GPU?
so yeah, yeah, I'm more CUDA guy.
Talking about quantum computing and how fast it will be in the future to build LLMs. Now, that moves me to transformative models. Obviously, we have ChatGPT, we have Midjourney, we have Perplexity. I mean, all of this, transformative models. Do you think that they will become so advanced that one day they start to tell us what the future is?
A Nostradamus model.
Surprised if today we had you go on ChatGPT and you type in who's going to be the next president of the United States of America, and it gives you a name. Do you think you'll be surprised? I mean, do you think that that's the future? That's where the transformative models are going to? Oh,
More
we're
than
still
surprised,
way.
I will be scared because if if an
I
LLM
would be
can.
too. I would be too, to be honest. I will definitely be scared if you could actually
Yeah,
type going to be the next president, of a country. But yeah, that is oh yeah, I will be.
yeah, it will be quite scary because you could do that for everything, even for your life. So you can ask what I'm going to eat tomorrow, and what will be my wife, or it would be
Mhm.
scary, quite scary. So I
It
prefer
would
to have
be.
the the illusion that I can choose my my path, that I have free will to choose,
Absolutely.
and also that
Absolutely.
as humankind, we have free will.
Yes.
That not everything is not deterministic.
Absolutely. I agree with that as well. I think, at a certain point, you want to have some control over some things, not going to ask, not typing on ChatGPT and then you just find it just suggests, oh, your next, maybe your next week meal plan, this is what I think you're gonna be eating next week. I'm like,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
yeah.